Khomeini came through with the fatwa and said that, yeah, making us nuclear weapons is a sin against God. We're not doing it here. So if it was about Iran never getting a nuclear weapon, that was already nipped in the butt for us in '04. So what it's really about is that, oh, we don't want Iran to enrich uranium, period. And that's the red line now. They moved the goalposts. It went from Iran can't have a bomb, which they already assured that they won't, to now they can enrich. Now, to which Iran is saying that we have a right to.
And I said, well, what happens if you buy a nuclear weapon? So now it says we will not develop or in any way purchase a military weapon. That's a big difference. So we're getting what we want slowly. Very tough negotiators. It takes a long time. I'm in no hurry. I'd like to say I'm in a hurry because, you know, gasoline prices are going to come tumbling down. But if you're going to be in a hurry, you're not going to make a good deal. And slowly but surely, we're getting, I think, what we want. And if we don't get what we want, we're going to end it a different way.
So that's interesting because I think everyone has acknowledged that the United States has been in a defensive position against Iran. They've been aggressive to some extent, and we've been defensive. Is there a line that they would cross for you to go on the offensive again militarily?
Well, a deal that wasn't going to be good for us is the line, ultimately, because, you know, I'm playing it out and we're going to see. And that's what I do. I negotiate. They negotiate. They're very good negotiators. They're crafty. But in the end, we have all the cards because we've defeated them militarily. Look, they have no Navy. Every ship, they have 159 ships. Every one of them are at the bottom of the sea. Every single one. We take pictures of them. We have people going down taking pictures of hundreds of ships. Their Navy is totally gone, 100%. Their Air Force is totally gone, 100%. Their military, we've sort of left it alone because we think that their military is somewhat moderate. They have other people that aren't moderate. We've taken them out. We've taken different forms of leadership out. We've actually left their military alone. People would be surprised to hear that because mistakes have been made in wars where you wipe out.
And you know, it's so crazy now. The reason why people get irritated when Trump says, oh, you know, we destroyed their Navy is because, well, they're using their Navy right now to lock down the Strait. Like when they're setting out these, you know, mines on the Strait, what do you think they're using? Their Navy. So it does appear that the 60% of their Navy is still operational, according to the CIA and the DIA as well, which is basically, you know, our intelligence agencies pretty much going against what Trump is telling the American people. Like Pete Hegseth and Trump has been pretty much selling us a fairy tale when it comes to the progress that's been going on the ground, when it comes to removing Iran's control in the Strait, decimating their military power, and of course, invoking a regime change, which none has been really done.
Everybody, and then you have a country that's, you know, for 40 years can never rebuild. You look at what happened with Iraq. We did so bad. That was such a foolish thing, what we did. Shouldn't have been there in the first place, by the way. And shouldn't have been in Iran. But Iran has the capability. If we didn't hit them with the B-2 bombers 9 months ago, they would have a nuclear weapon right now. And it would be a whole different story. Probably would have used it. You probably wouldn't have had you wouldn't have had Israel, but you probably wouldn't have had a Middle East. And then where do they go from there? And you get to see that when you see that when we went back.
Like, do you see the asinine fear mongering? Pretty much saying that, oh, if Iran gets a weapon, they're just going to nuke the entire Middle East. Like, I'm sorry, but if they wanted a nuclear weapon, first off, they would have never put down a religious fatwa saying that it's a sin against God. And then second off, they had all the opportunity in the world when Biden was in office, because in 2021, they've been at 60% enrichment since then. So all that time they could have went towards a nuke, but they never did. And they've just been trying to get into another JCPOA deal with the United States that Biden failed on.
They had missiles aimed at Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain. They all got hit. And we were surprised. I was surprised. Actually, I viewed it as a positive because all those people came immediately to our side. They got hit. Now, they could have taken another view. They could have said, well, we want no part of it. Not that they like it, but they came to our side. And Iran is in a very bad position. They have no military. All they have is good talk, and they have a fake press. You know, the fake news is probably their biggest asset. And I put something out on Truth the other day that I think was very profound. It said that we wipe out their military, we wipe out their Navy, their Air Force, their anti-aircraft, we wipe out everything, we wipe out their leadership, and then we wipe out their leadership a second time.
I mean, here's the thing. If that's the case, then why is it so hard to get a deal that's been overly favorable to the United States? Like, we're just decimating them and they have nothing else. They have no cards. They're just begging us. Then why can't we just get them to, release the Strait without giving them anything? Why can't we get them to give up their nuclear weapons without giving them anything? So I'm sorry, but logic stands that I guess we're not doing that well out there if we can't get Iran to bend to our whim.
And then at 2.5 time, we're dealing with the other half. And by the way, they're much more reasonable. And you could say that's regime change. But I said, so they would then raise the white flag of surrender. We give up to the great American military, the most powerful military. We give up, we give up, we give up. The New York Times would say, Iran has fought bravely and has defeated the United States of America. I mean, the coverage is so bad. You have a big win in a battle, and they say you lost.
A big, like, I don't know, Trump, this is the problem what you're saying. Like, you walked into this war talking about apparently there's a whole laundry list that nobody was willing to, speak up to, but apparently it was a dream change, decimate their military capabilities. The new added task of releasing them off the Strait of Hormuz, and then of course getting control of their enriched uranium. None of that's been done yet at all. And it does seem like we're going to have to concede some things, aka give Iran some things to go ahead and get that. So this is what they mean by we lost. We went out there and dropped all the bombs in the world outside of a nuke, and we still haven't gotten what we want. That's what people mean by we lost. We bombed the 16th, 16th, most efficient military in the world, and we're the best one. We couldn't take these guys out. That's why they're saying we lost, because we shouldn't even be stuck like this with them, to be quite honest. But hey, I mean, when you got when you got geographical advantage and you're playing an asymmetric warfare, I mean, of course, Iran's going to have some advantage there, and of course, they have escalation dominance.
Knock out their entire navy, and they say their navy's doing fantastically. No, it was defeated, totally defeated. And they said it's just a terrible thing for our country. And to really be great, you need a fair media, and we don't have a fair media. I mean, that's all they can do is lie.
Well, that's
they
the
have
Democrats.
No policy.
They have nothing to
go
on.
They're Democrats, okay? Yeah. They have no policy. We have a new name for them, Democrats. I call them, I will always call them until they straighten up, Democrats, because they want women to be put in danger by having men play in women's sports. Think of it. They want the transgender mutilization of your children. They want open borders. We want open borders. They want high taxes. They voted against the tax cuts. They voted against no taxes on tips. They voted against no taxes on Social Security. They voted against no taxes on overtime. These have been so important. But the Democrats voted against all of that. But we call them Democrats, and it works out well because I take the word dumb, take the B off, because most people don't know that, dumb ends with a B, but most people don't know. And all I do is I switch the E with a U, and you have a Democrat. And I came up with that by watching Hakeem Jeffries, because he's a dumb person. And I said, he's really dumb. I said, wait a minute, he's a Democrat. So I think it works. I don't know that it's going to be as good as Pocahontas or fake news or so many of the others that we've come up with, but I mean, I'm going to just call them Democrats, because I don't understand how they can be so stupid.
I'd imagine if you could have timed things perfectly, having a conflict just in front of the midterm elections at a time like this isn't ideal. You acknowledge the high gas prices. You have consistently been willing to do the hard things, the things that your predecessor said should have been done, but they didn't have the guts to do them. You have taken them on, and Iran is a great example of that.
Well, you have a problem, a structural problem, because you have the midterms, you have the elections. Well, that's going to go on for hundreds of years, every 2 years. So you have really a very small window. So if you wanted to play that game, then you would wait till the midterms are over. And then the following hour, you'll attack Iran, because they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Most people agree with me on that. But then it gets maybe carried into, the next election, whether it's a midterm or not. So you have a very short window.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. If this costs us if it costs us the midterms and the Democrats get into power, then I'm sorry, but all this is going to be reversed. The progress on the border might be reversed. Lord knows the terrorists are done. I mean, you're already getting cooked on that. So I'm sorry, but going to war with Iran and pretty much giving up the American first agenda because you're more low key going to turn yourself into a lame duck president is a terrible idea. It's like, I'm not sure why he pretty much just risked it all for war with Iran when he should have been trying to make America great again, like he campaigned on. But apparently that was taking back seat to whatever Israel wants to do.
Doing anything having to do with war. But I don't view that window. I view it, I have to do what's right. When I attacked Venezuela, it was really
into this war.
I was hit hard. Now, I did that because of what they've done to our country in terms of sending prisoners in and drugs in and all the other stuff. You know, we have drugs down 97%, fentanyl and various drugs down 97% on drugs coming in by water. Now we're starting the land, and it's going to be it's actually easier. The land is much easier. You know, the drug boats that are, for the most part, no longer with us. In fact, the 3%, we're trying to figure out who would do that. I mean, they obviously don't watch television or don't watch the news, but that was very unpopular. As soon as I won, it became unbelievably popular. Well, we're winning Iran. It's a total win for us. I mean, we had to do it. Look, two things with it. Number one, the Strait has to be opened immediately and has to be free, no tolls, et cetera, et cetera. And number two is they can't have a nuclear weapon. That's all there is. It's very simple.
Yeah, here's a problem though. They were never going towards a nuclear weapon, and that's not actually what Trump is asking for. What Trump actually wants is no nuclear enrichment whatsoever, and Iran's not giving that up. They're saying it's their right to do so. And well, like I said, since they're part of the non-proliferation treaty, it is their right. They do have a right to enrich, sadly. So yeah, he is kind of stepping on their sovereignty. But as far as opening up the Strait toll free and all that good stuff, I mean, that could be done, but Iran's pretty much saying that they want sanction relief for that. They want sanction relief to get their enriched uranium. So pretty much he's kind of put Iran in the perfect place so they can use the Strait and their enriched uranium to extract more sanction relief out of the United States.
And then we're going to get out of there. And we don't need the Strait. You know, we don't need it because we have more. So we produce now, because of us, we produce more oil than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined ×2. Think of that. We'd double what they do. Add Saudi Arabia and Russia, multiply it ×2. And we're going to be much higher. We're the oil superpower, far greater than even Saudi Arabia, even Russia. But you add them up. These are two big monsters. You add them up, and we double it. We have a great country. We've had tremendous success. We have done things that are unbelievable. And I have tremendous support from Republicans. I mean, I never get support from Democrats. It's a different world than it was. It used to be they'd get together, they'd have lunch, they'd fight a little bit, they'd have bipartisan. I'm not sure that's possible because everything's so different. I want closed borders. I want people coming in legally. They want open borders.
Oh, guys, you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by smashing that like button if you're on Rumble or YouTube. Appreciate the support, guys.
Want every criminal in the world to pour into our country. There are 25 million people, many of whom were criminals. 11,888 were murderers. Most of them committed more than one murder. I don't want them in our country. I'm sorry. And, you know, so there are things like transgender mutilization of your children. They want that. They want men to play in women's sports. They want all these things. So I don't know. People say, can you ever get together? I don't know. I mean, you know, the policies are so different. I want borders. They don't want borders. They want to get rid of, they want to get rid of your Second Amendment. I have to protect the Second Amendment. And I have protected it. But we've done a lot. We've done really a lot. And more people are working in the United States right now than at any time ever before. We have more people working. We have $18 trillion, as you've heard many times. I say it all the time. Now, I haven't included the 12th month, but for 11 months, we have 18 trillion with a T, coming into our country. Biden in 4 years had a lot less than 1 trillion. And I will say this, if they won this election, I don't think we'd have a country anymore.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News.
And all right, guys, hopefully more of that will come out later on, but that was the first part of the interview. But all right, guys, let's get over to Zelensky. So apparently Zelensky showed up on Face the Nation. Let's go ahead and get into that one as well, guys. And don't forget to like the video, guys. Smash that like button.
In the back and forth between the U.S. and Iran over a framework for a true